Sukkah, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Yud. Bayis, a house, shenifras, where the roof was breached. There was space in the middle of the roof. V'sikech al gabov, and on top of it, that space, the person put schach. Explains about Tanura, the gagoi be'emtsoi, the roof in the middle, va'adofonos rochoikos minaschach, and the walls are now at quite some distance from the schach, the kosher schach, which is in the middle, because it's over the breach where the person had placed the kosher schach. Says the Mishnah, im yesh mina koise lesikuch, if there is a distance from the wall until the kosher schach, arba amas, 4 amas, in that case, psula, the sukkah will be psula. Says the Bartanura, but pachis mikan keshera, less than 4 amas from the wall, and therefore one would have cement, for example, from the wall up to the kosher schach, but that cement is less than 4 amas, that would be fine. The halacha la Moshe misinai, halacha Moshe misinai, the omrinan that we say, dofen akuma, principle we've mentioned previously, the idea of a bent wall, ad dalad amas. The halacha of dofen akuma, which is a wall, we consider the wall as being bent, this applies up to a horizontal distance of 4 amas. V'royim tikras habayis, ki'ilu ne'ekam roish hadofen. We consider that cement, which is connected to the wall itself, the cement on the roof, as if the roof is bent, uvo ad haschach hakosher, and it now reaches this wall, a bent wall reaches the kosher schach. But of course, under that part of the sukkah where one's underneath the cement and not under the schach, it would be forbidden to eat, to sleep. Continues the Mishnah. Another example. V'chein similarly, chotzer, a courtyard, shehi mukefes achsadra, which is surrounded, what's called a portico. A portico means one has a courtyard, houses going onto the courtyard, and at the sides of the houses there's a horizontal roof, small roof, perhaps on, which is of course a pillar underneath it to support that roof. But in the centre there's airspace. That would be perfectly in order, as the Bartanura explains, v'sikech ba'aviro shel chotzer. Therefore the person placed kosher schach at the airspace, to fill the airspace of this courtyard, rochok mikosleo achsadra, at some distance from the roofing which extended from the house itself. In such a case, again, if the horizontal part of the portico, the roofing, extended less than 4 amas, that would be perfectly in order, and we will consider the wall, this time it would be the wall of the house, of the houses surrounding the courtyard, as if those walls were extended as part of the roof. And then the airspace in between in the courtyard, which is now placed with schach, that would make the kosher schach and the kosher sukkah. Final example. Sukkah gedola, a large sukkah, shehikifuha bedovish a mesachim by. He surrounded, hikifuha, they surrounded it, bedova, with something that one cannot use for kosher schach, cement, metal. Only the surround, the central part, is kosher schach. What's considered a large sukkah? Says the Batanura, Kol she'ilu yinotel haschach posel. If one would imagine the posel schach, which is surrounding the sukkah, if one ignores that and one still has 7 tfachim by 7 tfachim, where one has placed the kosher schach, that is considered a large sukkah. There is a sukkah schach of 7 by 7. It's true from then on one has this, it's not schach, but it's roofing which is posel for schach. So again, sukkah gedola shehi kifuha b'doba she'ein mesachim by, where it's surrounded with metal, which is posel for schach. Im yesh tachtov arba amas, again, if there are 4 amas underneath it, in other words, it means that the space of this, which is unkosher schach, surrounds the sukkah, then it would be possible. But less than that would be perfectly in order. And the reason, once again, all 3 examples, is because of the principle of a dofen akuma, which does not make the sukkah possible. Notice this point about a dofen akuma, and we've mentioned here about 4 amas. However, in the middle of a sukkah, the Batanur concludes, be'emtza sukkah poisel ba'abot tfachim. We said before that if in the middle of a sukkah, 4 tfachim would be enough to make the sukkah posel, a barrier in the middle of the schach itself. But to the side, it's up to 4 amas, which would be considered a dofen akuma. Whereas if it was just airspace, va'avir airspace she'ein shom schach klal, with no schach, it makes no difference. Bein be'emtza, bein min atzad, whether it's at the side or in the middle. Poisel begimel tfachim. We've mentioned this before. 3 tfachim is sufficient to make the sukkah posel. So if at the side of the, right next to the wall, as we've mentioned previously, there was a space, an airspace of 3 tfachim, that would make the sukkah posel.